Hello, friends. I really need to move this around. Hello, hello. I am here. I am live. Welcome. Okay, so I did a little vote and on my page last night on what I should paint today, and everyone chose the goose. So I'm gonna paint the goose today. So this is an insert that goes to an interchangeable, and I don't know if I've ever showed it on my page. Hi Holly, thanks for joining me. There's a new version of it, and so I'm gonna put that together as well. So this is it's like a window box, and this is the one that nobody chose for me to paint tonight. So I painted it today. It's super cute. Little like Uncle Sam he kind of looks like a gnome-ish guy. Anyways, so this just pops out. You can put it in there, and there's all the different seasons, and then this slides out. So there's a new style of that one that I'm going to put together. I pre-painted it, and then there's this style. So there's 3 styles of this now. So there's a ton of different inserts for this, and I have a bunch to add, but there's this version as well. Whoa. So this just pops out. There's tape stuck to it. And there's a little spot where this tab goes inside of there. And then there's if I can get it in, I think it's in. There is like a little space here if you wanted to put greenery or something in there. And then this just slides out and slides in, so you can switch it out. But this new one is really cute, so I'm excited. I already pre-painted it, but I wanted to show how to assemble it because that's pretty important. It's not hard, but yeah, it helps to have a little instruction on that. So yeah, so there's that one, but we're gonna paint the goose tonight, and I'm excited about that. The goose thing is so popular now. And I don't know if I am like a huge goose fan, but I think they're so cute, so I'm here for it. I don't know. I just put patriotic up in our house. I don't always decorate, so I think I had patriotic up last year until I put up Christmas, so we'll see how I do this year. I try to switch out I have just like one shelf I put up in my living room that I decorate. Other than that, I don't have like a lot of places to really decorate. So anyway, I'll just dive right into this. And I cut another goose fowl that's super cute. The goose is making a comeback. I know, so funny. It's pretty cute though. Okay, so I'll show you that later. Okay, so I'm gonna just start taking my pieces and putting them on some tape. So this is just the blue painter's tape. I just buy it on Amazon in a big pack. It's pretty inexpensive. I know, like, it used to be kind of expensive, the 3M brand or whatever might be more, but this is just like some cheap, I buy it in like a big pack of them. So, so I just separate them by the color I'm gonna paint them. And I think I'm gonna do this maybe yellow. I don't know, we'll see. The center of the flowers are like little cute buttons, and those are definitely gonna do yellow. This one should be a pretty, not too, take too long. Okay. Let's see, I sanded it, so there's some dust in there. So this piece is got the little tag on it, and then this goes over it. So you don't have to paint this part, you just paint the top ribbon, but then you can paint this if you want. I suppose you could leave it just the raw color. It doesn't look bad, but we'll see. And then I'm gonna do my flowers blue. So I'll do all those on one. So if you ever have like, kind of like the burnt look on there, I try to get that sanded off before I ever send anything out, but sometimes it doesn't catch it. You can just use a fine grit sandpaper and lightly sand that off, or you can wipe it off with like a baby wipe. It should come right off, or alcohol wipe. I like these alcohol wipes. I bought those on Amazon too. I do a lot of Amazon shopping because we live kind of in the middle of nowhere. Let's see, hopefully I have enough glue. Okay. And then for his little feet, there's just a score line on this, so you know where to start painting that. I'm gonna use orange. I've seen some people do yellow, but I'm gonna do orange, because that is what color they usually are. All right, so for the back, you have the greenery, and I'm just gonna go and paint that really quick. You can leave this unpainted if you want. You can paint it the same color. I'll probably just go with the green down, and then yeah, you won't really have to worry about that. Everything else will be covered up by your pieces that come over the top. Yeah, I shop on Amazon a lot. We only have, well, like the closest craft stores, at least I think 30 minutes. Well, we do have one. We have a Ben Franklin, if you know what that is, in town, and it's just so expensive. I've only been in there a couple times. So I don't really, I never go there. But yeah, the closest craft store is like Hobby Lobby. And then we have, there's no more Joann's, so we have Michael's, and I think that's it. But yeah, we have Walmart, Fred Meyer, but I don't really shop there for that, for like craft stuff usually. Sometimes I get paint at Walmart, because they have like that chalk paint, Waverly or whatever. So sometimes maybe I pick up a color there, but not usually. So, oh, let me make sure I'm in the screen. Make sure you can see. Let's see. So, I use a makeup wedge to do my painting. Covers really fast, which I love. If you were trying to do this with a paintbrush, it would be a real pain. Not that it can't be done, but the makeup wedge is awesome, especially for these pieces that you have like space where paint can get in between. The makeup wedge usually can prevent that from happening depending on how much paint you put on it. But I just usually just kind of dab it in my paint. You don't need a whole lot, and it will cover it really good. Yeah, that's the only crappy part about living in a small town. Although I wouldn't trade it to live closer. I always hate when I have to go to like the closest area that there's a Hobby Lobby because it's so busy. But gosh, I don't know, like the last few times I went into Hobby Lobby, I was like, okay, I don't know why I even bothered coming here. Because everything, well, I feel like they take forever to put stuff out, at least around here. So what did I went in there looking for like Easter ribbon. I don't know, in like February maybe. And usually they'd have stuff like out early, you know, for crafters. But it's pretty clear they're not really gearing towards crafters anymore. At least that's how I feel about it. So they didn't have anything. They just had like their regular ribbon. They only had some of their spring stuff out. So I haven't been back there since. Okay, so I'm just gonna go, I guess you do want to paint down here because the legs will go down here. You might kind of see between the legs a little bit. Even when you put it in the insert, but not much, not by much. So yeah. All right. That one looks like it covered pretty well. I used to always shop at Joann's, but then around like COVID, they just kind of started tanking and not really having that much good stuff. Okay, I'll let that dry. And I think get started on my Goose. So I'm going to use an off-white for the Goose. You could do that. You can do like a brighter white, but it's kind of up to you. Oop, I need to move my garbage can closer. Let's see. And you'll see on the Goose, he has the score with the little eyelashes, and that's just kind of help you with where to put your eye, and then the score for where to put his little wing, her wing, whatever. So you'll want to try to not fill these lines in. So just putting paint on it, dabbing it off. You don't need too much paint. It's better to do light coats, multiple coats, and go over those score lines. This one doesn't matter, but where the eye is, you'll want to be able to see that. So just going over that, not too heavy. And if you do get paint in there, you can always clean the lines out. Or you could even, if you didn't want to do that, you could take a marker and just you know, draw over where the lines are. This is going to be so cute. I need need to be better about putting up different decor, different seasons. And you can paint over that, or you don't have to if you don't want to waste paint. So just get a good cover on there. You can go over it again. I usually go over white at least 2 times, depending on what I'm doing. All right, probably let that dry. Let's see, I got a little paint in the score line there. I'll just use these like push pin things and clean the lines out. Okay. All right, let me do his little wing. Hopefully you can see that okay. I might go back to using my camera that goes right over the top so you can see better. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry. And I'll probably do one more coat on that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use this blue. No, I'm going to use the light blue. And then I'm going to accent around the edges with the darker blue. Let's see. The great thing about the makeup wedges is that you can reuse them, or not reuse them, but keep using them. I just let the paint dry and then cut them off and keep using them until I can't use them anymore. And I am going to go across the middle of these with the blue because the centers are like little buttons, so you will see through the back, through those. have little score lines between the petals. So I got a little too much paint in that one. Okay, let those dry. I'm gonna get this guy's wing again. And if you do get paint on the edge and you care, some people don't care, you can always take a baby wipe and clean it off if you want. Or I use a Q-tip sometimes. That made that a little dirty looking. Alrighty. Okay, so, let's see, I got my yellow here. This is like really full. And I'm just using scrap to put my paint on. Nothing fancy. I have some of those like little palettes. But you know, good luck getting me to clean them out. Although you can let them dry and then you can pop the paint out, but this way I can just toss it when I'm done. Some people use foil, but I just do this because I have lots of scraps and pieces these are from labels, mailing packages, so might as well. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do this yellow too. The Hey Silly Goose, it says. Got hair in there, of course. Oh my goodness. Stuck to the tape. This week is just flying by. Already almost Thursday. So this yellow covers pretty well. I probably will only need one coat here, which is always nice. And most of these colors are ones that I paint matte, like color matched. Because I used to use chalk paint. Like I have this whole thing here next to me, cart that's just full of chalk paint. And I should still use it because it doesn't really matter. Be less wasteful. Use it up. Then I can get rid of this cart next to me because it doesn't really need to be there. Well, I said I was going to do one coat, but I'm going over a few spots real quick. And then it should be good. And I'll hit these again. Okay, let's check this green out. Could use a little more in a few spots. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do one more coat on this Goose because I can still kind of see through it. And if your paint gets kind of rough, you can just hit it lightly with the sandpaper. This is just a finger sander. I got these on Amazon, and I use a 220 grit, which is a fine grit, and just go over it again, or lightly go over it, and take away any kind of grittiness that might be there. Sometimes the paint gets a little gritty. I don't know why. Let's see. And the nose does have like a little hole in it, so you can go, might as well just cover the whole area, the beak. I guess it would be called a beak, not a nose. I don't know, whatever. Got a little too far down. Okay, so now I am going to do the orange. Let me do this one more time. The nice thing about doing multiple coats, light coats, and not like really laying it on thick is that it dries quickly. So like this is almost dry. And it's not here, it's what? Let me see, 70. It's only 71. It's probably cooler in my basement where I craft. But it still dries quickly. I always I feel bad when people at like paint nights, they tend to get a little crazy with the paint and sometimes put too much on, and then I just have to sit around and wait for paint to dry, which is never very fun. But, you know, sometimes you tell people and they don't listen, and it is what it is. They can just have to wait. Okay, overall, these look pretty good. Just a few spots. Okay, and then I forgot to grab my orange, so let me do that. We have a Airbnb, and it's like right outside the gate of Mount Rainier. And so we did like it has like a whole bear theme. And I found these cute sheets, and they had like bears on them and stuff. And so I ordered them, and they came today. And In the picture, it looked like they were like a cream color, and then they had the bears and trees and stuff on them. And then I got it, and I was so disappointed. It was like orange. The background was like an orange, like a light orange color, like peachy almost. So not cute. So now I have to return those. Trying to figure out a better sheet situation. Because we have like a cute little bear. It has bears on it and trees and stuff. The comforter. And then I have like these nice green sheets. But I feel like everything just attracts lint. It was driving me crazy. So I'm always, I don't want people to think that there's hair in the bed or something. So I thought maybe a lighter color. I don't want to do white because I don't want to have to bleach them all the time because we're on septic, which is not good for the septic system. And I guess you can use OxyClean, but I don't know. We've just had green sheets the whole time. And then the other room's like a star themed. So I was trying to find some cute star sheets, but some of those are so expensive just because they know they're specialty type things. But I found some other ones that I think will work, but they're not as cute with the bears on them. Sure is fun to decorate though. We got cute bear stuff everywhere. And then there's a local woodworker that does like carvings out of cedar tree stumps and stuff. And so we have a bunch of stuff by him. We just put up this really cute bear, and he's sitting on a swing. And so we put it between a couple of trees, so it looks like he's on a swinging in the trees. So that's really cute. I'll have to share pictures of it. We're going out this weekend to make some adjustments to that and then to clean for our next guests. All right. Okay, so that's done. So you can see how it has the score lines that help you know where to paint for the orange. And then I just painted the orange on the nose, and it has that little hole in it. And then the next step will be, I gotta do the black on the eye. But I think I'm gonna paint this guy first. And I think I'm just gonna leave this. I don't know, gray tag. Maybe I'll do. I have like a beige, but it almost looks the exact same. So I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna do this blue. Where did it go? This is called Williamsburg Blue. It is a Decor color. I just paint matched it. I bought one of the little jars and then I got a bigger jar of it. Paint matched. So I'm gonna do this with that. Sometimes you can get a good amount of paint on there and just slide your makeup wedge. You could also use a brush for this part, but I prefer this because then I don't have to clean brushes. I'm not very good at cleaning brushes. I have a whole sink full of them that I've gotten water that I need to clean. But this is quick, and this will need another coat for sure. And if you get any kind of like ridges, you can just pounce that along there lightly, and that will take those away. Okay, so let that dry. It's gonna be really cute. I can't wait to get it finished. And then I'm gonna do this darker blue on the bow too. So on this, I can probably get away with just the one coat. Okay, let's see here. So I'm gonna use this darker blue to kind of give the flowers accent. So you want to make sure you don't have a ton of paint on it. Just make it kind of dry, and then you can go around and just kind of tap on the edges, and it gives it a little, I don't know what the word is, definition, or I don't know. So you can see there, just a little variance. So I'm going to do that to all of my little flowers. Maybe one day I'll learn how to float. They call it floating with the paintbrush with the other colors. But this is so easy. Maybe one day I'll learn how to do it. Like those tool painters. You're kind of limited with the makeup wedge. You can only really do the edge. You could maybe get in here if you wanted to, but you don't really need to. And I haven't even put more paint on there. I'm just gonna keep using what I got because this has got quite a bit of paint loaded in it. Okay. I'm gonna put a little more paint on it now. And if you get too much on there, you could always just wipe it off with a baby wipe. You might have to go over the light color again, or you can not do this at all. You don't have to. That's the great thing about the DIY blanks, is that you get to paint it how you like it. Okay. All right, it's pretty quick. And you can do as much or as little as you want. If you want to go in a little further, you can. I'm just kind of keeping it close to the edge. And then, let's see, I'm actually gonna go over this little bow again one more time. It just needed a little bit more. All right. Let's see, do I wanna? So I think for the green, I'm just gonna do the same thing with a little bit of the white on the edges of the leaves of the greenery here. Just real quick. And you can kind of get in these other little cracks. Oop, got a little too much there. Okay, so this is just an easy way to give it a little bit of dimension without having to have any special tools, any special paintbrushes, and it's just really simple, and anybody can do it. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna do a little white on these. They'll be the centers of the flowers. Just gonna kind of go around the edges, like one side. Oh, got way too much on that one. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to do the same on the top of the Hey Silly Goose. I'm just going to go down and kind of give it a, kind of makes it look like a lighter yellow. Almost like an ombre-ish. So you can see just lightly across the top there. And then, let's see. You're not really gonna see the top or the bottom of this piece because it's gonna slide into that frame. I'll just do the edges, and then I think I'm gonna do polka dots. So you can use dotting tools, you can use the end of a paintbrush, which is probably what I'm gonna do, because I don't want to search for my, I don't know where they are. I have some of those like dotting tools, but so you can just take the end of your paintbrush, this one's like nice and rounded, and just dip it in your paint, get a good amount of paint on there, and then I just kind of randomly start putting these polka dots. I guess it's not that random. I'm putting them in a line. And then I usually go down in the middle. You can always add more later if it looks weird and feel like you need to. Let's see. Some of these will be in places that are going to be covered up. So you might not need to put one. And there is scoring on this to help you line up the words for Silly Goose. Okay. Let's see. Do that one there. Maybe one there. And one there. One there. Oops. And try not to put your hand in it like I did. Okay. These are just kind of random. Let's see. Hold that one up a little bit. Some of these, like further towards the top, you're not going to really see those. Okay. So now that needs to dry. Set that over there. Okay, so I'm going to do my goose. So for the goose, I'm going to use my Distressing Crayon. And these are by Tim Holtz. I get them on Amazon. It's like a really soft kind of crayon. It makes this so easy. I just take my makeup wedge and wipe some on there. And then I just go around. I'm just gonna go around, try not to get too much. Go around the edges of the goose. And this will just give them a little bit of dimension. It's probably hard to see it in this, but you'll see it when I put it all together. And again, you can do as little or as much as you want. You don't have to do that at all. Sometimes instead of doing this, I will sand the edges. Just kind of depends on the look you're going for. And then here, I'm gonna get a little on the that edge, that sharp edge there. And then I'll just lightly go in here and swipe it across at the bottom of the white there. So you can see that. And these are water reactive, so if you maybe get too much on or it gets in a spot you didn't want it, you can wipe it off. That also means that you will want to seal it if you're worried about it. I don't always seal all my samples. If I'm selling it, yeah, but if it's just for at my house, I probably won't seal it. but you can just use like a clear sealer. I prefer a matte version of it because I don't like the shiny. And then I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of, oh, this is getting dried up. A little bit of white on top of the foot. You're not really gonna see these when they're put in there. All right. Let's see if I have a, no. So you can use a paint pen for the eyeball, or you can use a fine paintbrush with some black paint. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know where my black marker is, so I'm gonna do paint. Oh, this chair. Okay, whoop. So you just need a little tiny bit of black. These are eyeliner brushes, also from Amazon. They have that really fine point. So this is great for doing the eyes and things like that, or doing any kind of like detailing. And these score lines are so helpful. So I just do it, fill that in. A paint marker is probably a little faster, but okay. And then I forgot to do the wing, so I'm going to put some more on my distress crayon and go in and do around the wing. And I'm just using, I don't even know what color this is. It's all rubbed off. I think it's like the walnut or dark walnut or something. They make so many colors of the distress crayons, so. You could also do this with paint, just like I did with the white and the blue. You can do that too with some brown paint. Okay, and then I have his little nose, and I'm gonna do that. This is getting dry. I'm just gonna do a little white across the top of that. Real light. Okay, and then I didn't paint this, but I'm still gonna take my distress crayon and go around the edge of that. That'll just give it a little bit of dimension around the little tag that says honk honk. So cute. Okay. So yeah, it just kind of looks like a little wooden tag. And I didn't have to paint it, which is nice. Okay, I think we're ready to glue. Might want to do some white on this. Just across the top of that. Just giving it a little highlight. Okay. All right, so my glue, where did I put it? There it is. So this is the art glitter glue. And it dries clear, it's non-toxic, it's awesome. It dries permanent, but it does give you a little wiggle room, which I love. So the bow goes on top of this piece here. You just line her up. And you don't need a lot of glue. I just do like a real light amount because otherwise it'll be oozing out the sides, which is no fun. So that's that. And then, okay, so we have all these little guys. So I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of glue on each one. And it dries clear, so you won't be able to see that through there, through the holes of the buttons. I guess I should see how these sit on here. This one is like that. And, okay, I'm just looking at that so I can see how I want to do my button. Just making that highlights up. Okay, and then all right, I better move faster. I think that's that one. And these all have little score lines on there, so you know where to put them. Let's see, that one goes over here. And then, okay, let me just get these on here before my glue dries. Okay, so before I glue those on, I'm going to glue my little goose together. So just a light amount of glue on there. Whoop. And you just want to line her up so it comes to the end and lines up with that bottom piece. So cute. Oh my goodness. All right, so cute. I love it. Okay, so before I glue those flowers down, I am going to glue the goose on because some of those line up to the goose. Okay, so I'm just gonna go around and do some squiggles. I like to go around the outside and then do a little squiggle on the inside. And you want to line it up, I guess, using the head to make sure it's going in the right spot. Okay, It's coming together. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little glue on the backer where these flowers go. It's easier than having to put glue on each one. And then line these up. So cute. And then I think that's that one. Okay. This. This is so cute. All right, there it is. So freaking cute. Okay, so while that dries, I'm gonna glue these letters on. Our polka dots are pretty much dry. And these are stuck together, so you don't have a million individual letters, which is nice. Just a couple are separate. So for this, I'm just gonna put a little glue, light amount of glue on these. And then start gluing them on. Oh my gosh, I always get the tape stuck to me. And of course I stuck my finger in a polka dot that's still wet. So you probably want to let this dry completely. Or maybe hit it with a heat gun, I don't know. Oh, I forgot to put the tag and the bow on the goose. Almost forgot. So once I'm done with this, I will show you how to glue together that other window box. These, I'll get these put in my shop tomorrow, because I'll have to get pictures of them finished. Okay, so that's super cute. So, hey, silly goose. Okay, so this, oh, I think my duck, or not duck, my goose slid. Okay, thankfully it's not dry yet. See, now if I was using stick fast, which is what I used to always paint with, I would have never been able to move that. I have ruined so many pieces when I couldn't move them anymore. Because sometimes you set it down and it slides. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so this goes on his neck somehow. Let's see. I guess just like that. So I'm just gonna put a little glue in this area. You could always wipe it off if you, that might have been too much. Okay. Let's see, we'll just go right there. So cute. There, that's better. Honk honk. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna ruin it. Okay, perfect. So that needs to dry. So while that dries, I will show you how to put this window box together. Let me get this paint out of the way. Okay, so this one has like an arched window. So cute. And okay, so it's gonna have all these pieces and all these pieces. I mean, this is two separate pieces. So I decided to do the brown on the back piece, and then the white sits over it like that. You can do it however you want, obviously. So first I'll start by gluing those together, and you'll know which one's the front or the back because it says back. And then this one says A, and I'll show you why that is in a minute. So first we'll start by gluing this. So let's see. You just need, I just go around, squiggle some paint on, do it in between the windows, around the edges. And a little, need to refill this paint. I think it's almost out. It's clogged up. So if you have this and it gets clogged, like the tip gets clogged, you can just put a little push pin in it, clean it out. Happens sometimes if I forget to put the lid back on. Oh, come on. Yeah, that had a little more dried up than I thought. Holy moly. What on earth? That was a big piece. Okay, well, hopefully there's some glue left in there. There we go. That cleared that out. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we just want to line this up. You can do it like that. So on a flat surface, it'll make sure you're all lined up. Press those together. Okay. And I got a little crazy with the paint. So this one I don't know if you can really see it, but I distressed with the sandpaper around the edges and around the edges of the window. You can do that or paint it solid. You could do completely like faux stain the whole thing. You could paint it pink. Whatever your preference is. Okay. So now, this is why this is important. So you had one, this one says back, this one says A. And then this one says, glue to A. So this one has the little part where your insert's gonna fit in there. So it will slide down. Oh, no, not in the screen. It'll slide down in there and fit in there like that. Okay, so there's multiple layers here. So you just want to, again, you can do that just to make sure it's flush on the bottom. Make sure it's flush on the sides. So then you'll have that little ridge there, or whatever you call that. And then these are all flat. So that means that your piece will fit right in there in the back. Okay, and then so you have 4 of these, just flat ones. So I'm just gonna glue all these together. Oh my. So this is pretty simple. Just make sure each one that it's flush to the bottom. Sometimes it's hard to get those perfect, but you won't be able to tell. Okay, one more. This just gives it kind of a nice chunky base, so it won't fall over. Okay, and then you have the front plate, and it says front plate, and it has these score lines. I don't know if you can really see that, because you're going to have these pieces and you're gonna glue them together. And I put an instruction sheet in there so that you can see how to glue it together, but I'm gonna glue this front plate on, and I'm going to put the glue on this piece because it's easier to know where it goes versus putting it on this, and I don't need glue in some of the spots. Okay. So there's 3 versions of this window box, and they're all pretty much the same, how you assemble it. I think the only one that's a little different is the, this guy doesn't have 2 pieces for the backer. It just has the one, but then it has the same amount of pieces that you glue to it to make that thick base. what do we call that? Cutting board. It looks like a cutting board, kind of. Be cute for in a kitchen. And then you can interchange all the pieces. Okay, so while that dries, I'm gonna glue these together. So you have 4 plain pieces, and you just glue in 2 together. So I'm just gonna do a line and a line. So you're just gonna glue 2 of them together. So this is gonna be, it's a spacer basically for this piece, that so it can slide in and out. Okay. Get those lined up. Let that dry. And then I'll do this one. And then you're gonna glue these to this piece where there's score lines on here. So you want to make sure that you line them up across the top and across the bottom, because you wanna make sure you have enough room for this piece to slide in and out. So, okay, so I'm gonna put that on there. And then I'm just gonna use my fingers to make sure it's flush across the top there. Okay, and I didn't paint this because it's gonna be covered up. On this one, you can see I painted it, but it wasn't really necessary. But you can see how you're creating that space there for that piece to slide through. And then we're gonna put these on top. So I'm just gonna do one little line of glue. Now flush this one up to the bottom. Okay, that looks good. And then these pieces are kind of like the decorative pieces that go over the front of it. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and put a little glue on this piece because that scalloped edge is gonna hang past there. And then again, just flushing to the top and the sides. It's kind of hard to see sitting down. Okay, and then the same on the bottom. So the scallops face in towards each other. The flat edge goes on the bottom. Okay. What's that big deal? Okay. So those are drying. Okay, let's put the cap back on that so I don't get another glue worm. So you can see that's what it looks like when it's done. And you got the gap there, and then this is the little area where you're gonna stick your insert. Okay. All right, we're almost done. Okay, so this just slides in here, and it should fit right in and fit in that gap. So you can see, oh, you can't even really see the legs at all. I thought you were gonna be able to see the legs a little bit. Guess not. Okay, so there's that piece. And hopefully this is dry. And then this just slides in. Like that. So cute. And there's your Hey Silly Goose. Hi, Regina. Isn't that cute? So, so cute. So yeah, so these just slide out. Whoop. And then you can switch them out for the seasons, which is so fun. So like this one's 4th of July. That just goes right in. And then swap it out. So then you have that. I love interchangeable stuff. It's so nice to have like one piece that you can switch out for all the seasons. And I'm a little behind, but I gotta have a few of these to add to my shop. Okay. So cute, I love it. I cut this guy. This is a little shelf sitter. It says Geese on Parade. I'll probably paint this one tomorrow. With its little umbrella. So cute. It's a little shelf sitter. Yeah, makes it really simple. All right. Well, that's all I got for you tonight. I will get these pictures taken and get these listed in my shop if you want to DIY them. They will be in my Etsy shop. So I'll post that probably tomorrow with the finished pictures and shoot you the link so you can find these. But I have a whole bunch of different options already listed. This arched window is new, but this guy is already on there, and then the other window is already on there. So I am so excited. I really love this. And now I want to display it, but I have patriotic stuff up. But maybe this would be cute on my shelf in my kitchen. It's pretty freaking cute. I never really thought I'd be painting Goose stuff, but here I am. And at first I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. But then there was just so many cute options. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will be back again next Wednesday, same time. And I might pop in another day. You don't know. You'll just never know. All right. Well, thank you. I'll see you guys later.